Hi, I'm Pete, and welcome to Just a Few Acres Farm. Today is the day. After a complete teardown and rebuild, we're going to fire up the Super C for the first time. But before I can do that, I got to fill up all the fluids, and that's a job in itself. I'm starting with the transmission and rear end. They share one housing. They take 5 gallons of gear oil. It's just transmission. It's not connected to the hydraulic system. I'm using El Cheapo 8090 gear oil. The original spec was 80 weight. This will work just fine. Seems to be a theme on International Harvester tractors that they just give us the best, most convenient spot to fill the gear oil. Next is a touch controller hydraulic unit, and that gets Hy-Tran. I use the good stuff in these and all my tractors. And it gets between 3 and 4 quarts. We're going to have to run it and then check it again. But you fill it up close to the fill level on this fill port that you probably can't see. Engine oil goes in right here at the breather cap. And this is Shell Rotella T4. Oh no! Had to happen, didn't it? Oh, just a little rust proofing there. As I was saying, this is Shell Rotella T4 1540 diesel oil. I run that in all my tractors, year round. Oh, you're still dripping. Here. 5 quarts. This, of course, is how you check the engine oil level. There's no dipstick. You see if it runs out of the top petcock. I got nothing. I got to add a little bit more. And the oil bath air cleaner. It's got a fill line right on it in here. Just fill it with oil. I use the same as the engine oil. There we go. Now for the fan hub. Remember when we took it apart, this gets oil as well. Turn the screw horizontal and fill it up. And squirt oil in there until it starts to run out. This again is just the same oil I put in the engine. Then we turn it until the hole is facing down and let the excess drain out. This time I'd like to have a rag to catch it though. You know, my tractor's nice and clean. Fill up the cooling system, which is a little under 4 gallons. Put in some gasoline. I think we're probably going to need that to get it started. Turn on the gas and see what happens here. Carburetor bowl is full on. I can see the gas bubbles swirling around. And lastly, we got to give things a shot of grease. And a bunch of grease zerks on the hitch. This drawbar originally, because the paint that was on it was International White. It's the only part of the tractor that's International White. I like it. I think it sets it off. Lastly, we have to hook up the battery just temporarily here. I'm just going to fit them on. Light check. We have juice. Nothing left to do but to give her a try. Pressure. I think that the hydraulic pump is all primed because the one rock shaft on the other side moved back, but let's check it. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a bad ammeter. I'll have to check that out later. This is the idle adjusting screw on the carburetor. With it at low idle, you just turn it until it sounds the smoothest. Sounds good. That sounds like the place for the distributor. Now with it idled down and the timing where I want it, I can set the low idle speed. There's an idle screw behind the carburetor that adjusts how far the flap goes closed. If I can reach it. Oh, you're not easy to reach. working now. Charge. She couldn't start much easier than that. Well, we run it long enough to take it back apart and retorque the cylinder head. Fun, fun, fun. Don't scratch the paint. I think I've done this before on a lot of tractors. Take everything apart, retorque the head bolts, nuts, whatever. Well, she's getting plenty of oil up there. That's good. Everything looks capiche up here. She's got lots of oil, so that's good. Top end is oiling. I think it runs really nice, and some things are better than it used to be. Replacing the clutch made all the difference. When I push in the clutch now, I can feather it. It was real grabby before, and no matter how much I adjusted it. I didn't see any leaks. I didn't see any problems at all. I thought it'd take the touch control longer to prime up since all the lines in the pump were empty, but it primed right up a few seconds after I started it. It's charging high, but hopefully the that'll change as the battery cycles some. And the ammeter's working, the lights work, everything works. There's no drops on the floor yet. Take this guy out. And these got to go to 65 foot-pounds. We'll see how much they take. That one took some. They're taking about 1/8 of a turn, I guess. I'd take it for a drive today, but it's been pouring all day. I really don't want to take it out in this weather. Gonna have to do that another day. I'm interested to see how since I adjusted the differential ring and pinion, how much noise it makes. So we won't really figure that out until we can take it down the road. Put the rocker arm assembly back on. Now I got to reset the valve lash, and I always do this a little differently. I'm not going to pull a plug this time because I can turn this engine using the fan, and I can watch the valves. I know this is the exhaust valve. It's connected to the exhaust manifold here, and this is the intake valve. I'm looking for number 1 top dead center of compression so I can watch the valves, and I'll know when I'm coming up on compression stroke. So we're going to watch. We've got the intake opening. Now with lash on both valves, intake and exhaust, we know we're on the compression stroke. So now I just got to crawl underneath and look at my mark, and I'll know I'm at top dead center. Crawl under here and take the inspection cover off. She's got to turn some. A little bit more. Perfect. Now that we got her all set, we can readjust the valves. Now I want to show you, this is actually the Farmall 504 operator's manual, but this is the easiest way to adjust valve lash because you only got to turn the engine once. Number 1 piston top dead center compression, which I'm at now, and then you turn it a full revolution and you get number 4 piston at top dead center compression. And so these are the valve numbers you can adjust with each turn. So we want to check 1, 2, 3, and 5 and make sure that we've got lash on them, and then we'll know we're in the right spot. 1, 2, 3, 5. We're in the right spot. And valve lash is supposed to be 14 thousandths of an inch, which we don't have. And now I'll just roll the engine over one full revolution and do the other valves. Valves are all set. First start on this is a little bit anticlimactic for me. Every tractor's different. When I was working on the MD, it was the engine. The engine was the challenge. It was so complex. I've been through a bunch of these family of engines, so for me the joy in this job was actually doing everything in order start to finish and then doing the startup at the end, which I've never done before. I've always gotten the engine assembled enough to run it and checked it, but I was fairly confident this time, so I didn't do that. I do have an old style muffler clamp for this, but I'm not going to put it on because I'm pulling it in and out of the shop, so I'm going to leave it like this for now. Well, let's make sure everything still works all right here. Now that I've run the air out of the hydraulic lines, we can check the touch control. You got to be careful with these because sometimes air will escape and pop it out, and you'll get a face full of oil, which is no fun. Just take it off slowly. You want to check this with the cylinder in the back all the way retracted and the rock shafts all the way back as well. And you want the fluid to be pretty close to the top of it. Oh yeah, she needs a whole bunch. Wowie. Well, we can do that. Drink up. And check the level plug on the transmission now that this belt pulley housing is filled up from running the tractor because the trough directs oil into it. Now we can get an accurate reading on this. If it runs out, we're good. Well, it doesn't run out. Oh yeah, the level is just below the plug. I'm good. That's it. The end? No. This was a tractor restoration in 21 episodes, but anybody that's done this hobby before knows that the true test of patience doing one of these is the stuff that comes up after you think you're finished, because then you're tearing stuff apart twice. I don't know if I'll have to do that with anything on this. So far, I don't see anything, but we'll find out. You got to keep after it. I was debugging the MD for over a year, including the valve, the drop valve. So I don't know. We'll find out soon enough. We use this tractor a lot, and as soon as it gets nice out, I'll take it out and take it for a spin, take y'all along with me, and we'll see how she performs. I hope you enjoyed this series. I had a lot of fun doing this tractor. It was much less stressful than the MD. Felt like I knew the territory better, and that was nice. That was nice. Quick little guy. What was it? It was less than 6 months, I think, to do it. So I hope you enjoyed the series, and I'll see you back on the farm next time. Yeah. I'm proud of you.